Hi, this is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. I want to share a little bit with you today. I was talking to a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, on yesterday, and he began to share with me a testimony of a condition that he suffered with by himself. He suffered with this, right? And the condition was, he was having some ailments going on with his body, right? And he just, held it inside and he suffered with it, trying to figure out what's going on with his body. Why, is this happening to him, right? And he went to the doctor because it got unbearable. So he went to the doctor, well, actually went to the hospital, and they admitted him in, and while he was in the hospital, this is what he told me, right? He said while he was in the hospital and they was, had him go through all these tests, right? And while he's been tested, he was thinking, okay, this is what he says. This is something that I know I can't rely on these doctors to do for me. And so he began to pray, right? And he said, God, I need you to come here and fix this. And he began to share how his blood pressure, right, was, high. And he said the next day, they came in to check his blood pressure and it was in the 120s. And he went home 2 days later and it's been like in 119, in the teens, right? And I listened to him last night sharing his testimony. Y'all know where I'm at, honey. And I said, what? I said, what did they give you? Nothing. I mean, what changed? God. I said, mm. And then I said to myself, you know, I'm grateful for people who don't mind sharing their testimonies. And their testimonies comes from a test. If you want a great testimony, you must go through a great test. I mean, it's going to be big, it's going to be large, You and then most of the time in order to have a testimony, you must go through a stage of suffering. And of course, the line for suffering, honey, is short. Even people shout, they ain't volunteering for that line for suffering, honey. People don't want to suffer. They they want to live in a magical world of fairy tales, and everything's okay, everything's okay, everything's okay. That's what they want to tell you. Let's hear the story about Little Red Riding Hood, or the Three Little Pigs, or Billy Goat, all this stuff, right? Just entertain me, because people love to entertain. They love it. Entertainment makes people happy most of the time. But when you want to understand, how can I go through this and come out as a victor? Because going in it ain't pleasant. You don't like it, and sometimes you feel like you're staying too long. You know, and when I listened to him talk last night, he was saying, seemed like it was a long time. I think he suffered like a couple months. I said, yeah, a couple of months. I remember different passages that I had read. People suffered 38 years, 12 years, and to you, a couple of months is a long time. And I understand if the pain is excruciating, it is a long time. You know, I'm not, I'm not belittling, his test, nor of course his testimony. I'm saying to us, sometimes you must be willing to go through it so that you can come out of it as a victor. And a lot of times we get to it and we give up while we at it because we don't want to go through it. We get to it and say, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much for me." I'm, and you begin to say why you cannot go through this. But most people who have accomplished things in life can tell you about the many failures they had. You know, Michael Jordan didn't just one day shoot and all of a sudden, he became a star. He talks about, the many times, he missed it, you know, 3 pointers, dunking, flying. you know, before he, uh, he was an expert at it, right? You know, he became highly skilled at it, and then became known for the swoosh, right? Because then now he realized he had the power to do it all. It's amazing, I'm out here and all of a sudden the plane comes by. But there's always a story behind this story. There's a reason why the plane came. I'm gonna let you go with that. I'm talking about the flight, of the swoosh. And the plane comes by. You know how he could jump so high. You know, I want you to understand something. Nothing is by coincidence. I know you believe it is, so I'm gonna let you keep that one. But it isn't. There's a purpose for everything. There's a purpose for you to go through whatever it is you have to go through, so you can understand. It's going to make you better if you embrace it. Now, if you're going to fight it the whole time, then, it's going to be a struggle. Embracing it means, okay, this is my plight. I'm gonna go through it. Now, there are people, that are drowning. Let's say they're drowning, right? And let's say I'm a lifeguard. Spiritually, I could be. you know, to go in and help people who are drowning and pull them out, you know. Now, understand this as a lifeguard, watching, watching the shore, watching the water. You see somebody over there struggling. They're struggling, honey. They're going through, you know. And, you can see the way they're flapping. It's not normal. You don't swim like that. And they're a little bit too far. So maybe they need help. So, as a lifeguard, you immediately get yourself ready to go out to bring somebody else back, right? I'm going to bring them back. So now you've already got in your mind now. There's a possibility when I go get them that they're going to fight me. Not because they're angry with me, not because they don't want to survive, but their nature, because they're struggling. Sometimes when people are struggling and they're going through things in life, you know, when you're trying to help them, they fight you. You're not the reason why they're going through. You're not the reason why they're in the situation they're in. But you're coming in to help them and they're fighting you. Now, you have several things you can do. You out here in this water. Now you already know the water can take you out. It can take you down. It could be an undercurrent going. And a lot of things could be happening in this water. A lot of people play the water. I don't play with it because I understand the power of water. Right? So you're out there to help them, come to shore. This is you. While you out there, they're frantic and they're panicking and they're about to lose their breath because they think they're going to lose their life. So they're hitting and they're fighting the water. They see you and they say, "Oh, that can help me." So then they reach out to grab you. It's this impulse to reach out to grab you, not realizing when they're grabbing you, they're stopping your ability to swim. They're stopping your ability to be able to help them because now they have grabbed you and forcing you now that you can't swim. So what do you do? Right? What do you do? This is what happens. They said, you either you don't have a lot of time to be able to tell them, calm down, calm down, calm down. You don't have time for that, right? Because you're realizing they're panicking, and their panic is going to cause a problem not just for them, but for you too. That's what you got to do. If I can't get you to calm down, sometimes they have to almost knock them out to get them to shore, if you can. And now, if they're overtaking you, some people go down with the person. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you about Suge. Look, if you ain't willing to let me help you, you know, I'm gonna cry swimming back to shore because my job, my responsibility, and my purpose was to help you. But you know, don't understand the help that's coming, and now you're trying to take me down with you. I ain't going. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? Think about that now. How many people have you tried to jump in to help, and instead of you being able to help them, they're trying to take you down with them. They're trying to blame you for their hardship. And, for they're pulling you under, and that was not your purpose. It wasn't even your plan, right? But now the test comes. The test comes in understanding this. That that comes to you that you don't understand. You don't even like it. But now, if I go with this thing, because it's here, okay? Uh, the results are here. The dilemma is here. The hardship is here. The financial struggle is here. The loss of my car is here. Whatever it is, whatever your dilemma is, whatever your problem is, it is evident. It is here. Now you want to know: can I get free from this thing? Can I be free? And can I get out of this thing? You know, without a lot of damage. That's your hope, hon. But sometimes you're gonna have some damage, but you still come out. You're still able to make it. You know. I want you to know, though you did not ask for the suffering, though you did not ask for the test many times in life always comes in order to help you see a bigger picture. You don't see it today. Oh my gosh, honey, I can tell you the many stories that people have gone through in their life that has affected them so, has hurt them very much, has bruised them, left them with scars. But the final thing is, you came out. You know, I was going to show you my. It's a tree of life. It's a yin yang tree of life I have. I was talking about it yesterday. How it was blowing and everything. It's still blowing right now. And I looked at it because sometimes the wind beats at it, the rain hits it, the sun is on it. So it has been tattered. It's been torn. Right? It's faded. But all of those things has not stopped it from not being a flag. It's still a flag. It's blowing, in my front yard on that pole. Torn, honey. Still blowing. You know, it's colored, but it's still there. Sometimes we may not look like we want to look when we're going through something or coming out of it. But you made it. You did. And you made, and well, honey, I don't like that. I'd rather have the fairy tale. I know. I would too. I understand. I would rather have the fairy tale too. I agree. But it's not reality. It's not realistic. We all know we got to go through something, have gone through things, you know? It is a part of our life so that we can be able to have, a better life, understanding life, and not miss out on it. It comes. And a part of you having is what you got to go through to get it. You know, you didn't go to kindergarten and then next year they gave you a diploma. You had to go through years of proving that you can do it. Fourth grade, I got to prove I can make it to the seventh grade. You went through the stages, the process. So you can one day say, I finally made it. I got to the 12th grade and now I'm graduated. But it was a process and it took time. And a lot of times we don't want to take time. We want it to happen abracadabra right now. The fantasy, the fairy tale. And it's more comfortable for us, but it doesn't make it better. There is a passage that says, after you have suffered a while, I will exalt you in due season. I'm gonna pull you up after you suffered. After, not before you suffer now. And those of you who, Bible scholars, I know you out there. Job had to suffer. David suffered. You can think of a whole lot of people who had to suffer a while first. They struggled. They had hardships. You know, even if you want to use Jesus, his sufferings, Moses, name anybody, and I can tell you about when they suffered. They didn't get there easy. It wasn't always, ha ha he he. Somebody wants to have a party for the rest of their life. Everything you do you want to be a party. You want to go in there laughing and jumping. You want to leave laughing and jumping. You don't want to go through nothing. You don't think it's fair that you got to struggle. Why by us is. Because you think you might be a little privileged. You think you are, but you're not. You know, you got to go through too. But note this, note it, honey. after the test. That's where you want to be. And I could tell you something right now. But sometimes, you know, when your heart is hard, you can't hear nothing nowhere because your heart is hard. Loosen your heart up some, you know, and realize, I made it. You made it through that. Things that some people would never have went through, you made it through that. When you was 10, you made it through that. When you was in your teens, you made it through that. When they thought they counted you out on this, you survived this one. You went through all these things through life. And all of those things got you to right here to show you every time you thought you couldn't do it, you did. And that to show you when you go through this, you can do this too. And each time you go on another climb up. And each time you climb up, you get higher to a place that you realize now, that I'm unstoppable. That's what you should be thinking. I am unstoppable because the fire that burns in me is much stronger than the fire that burns outside of me. And I wear that t-shirt with pride. And it is true. There's a fire burning outside, but there's a fire that burns inside of me that will quench that fire. If I don't give up and I don't let go. Same to you, honey. I'm just saying, you know, take things in a different light sometimes. You tried it your way, that it don't seem to be working. So why don't you just try another way? I mean, it makes sense to me, but I don't know. Anyway, this is your girl, Jenny. Oh, yeah, with nuggets and things. Hopefully you got a chance, to hit a thumbs up on me. Hey, a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. You know, keep your girl lifted up. Because, I'm listening to the testimonies around me every day. And they encourage me, girl, you got this. You got this. Because, I'm in battles, I'm in fights. And when somebody say they made it, I say, oh, I'm okay then. They made it. Honey, I know good and well. Yeah, they made it. I'm good. Right? I love you much. Let your light forever shine. You be positive. Even when, darkness come or hardships come, try to stay positive. Stay positive. Speak life, even when it looks rough. You know, see the brightest, because it happens for us. My birdies, it's a good day. Thank you so much. You be awesome. Let your light forever shine. Don't stop, honey. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Love you.